Hi, it's John. I hope you're doing well, and it's a real honor to connect with you at this time. Today, I'd like to share my experiences of what I'm going through in my life just now about, as the title says, breaking free from corporate life. And I'd also like to give a big shout out to Jenna, Holloway, and also Jackie Dragone, who have been a big inspiration to cause me to reflect on today's share. And hello to Nicola, who's joined as well. And so I'd like to share, if you haven't heard already, and I've been posting on social media, that I'm leaving my corporate job. I've been there in the industry for 26 years and in the company for 8 years. And my last day is on the 30th of April. So I'm excited for the big changes. And why am I doing all this? Well, I'm taking that big leap of faith and I'm stepping into my spiritual mentoring business. So creating it and building it up and really following my vision of my life. I want to help more and more people around this world, to help them raise their vibrations, to work through their spiritual awakenings and really help balance the dark and the light in this planet. And we all need a big helping hand at this time. And I'd also like to reflect on some of my experiences in the build up to this moment, and then also dive deeper and go into like my subconscious, my intuition, and also have a chat with my spirit guides as well just now, and talk a bit about like some of the subconscious work I've been doing as well to help me on this big journey. And so I'd like to just ask you to take 3 deep breaths with me and join me as we just get a little bit closer to our hearts and into our subconscious at this time. So breathe in nice and deep through the nose. Hold and breathe out what no longer serves our highest good. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any stress, fear, or anxiety. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And release any remaining low vibration emotions, such as shame or fear. And just allow yourself to breathe deeply and calmly. And I've just been sharing my dream life of what I want for myself and my family is very much to be able to help other people to live in abundance, both financially, but also in terms of time, and be able to travel and visit all the incredible parts of this world. And I feel like that's really helpful in terms of sharing the direction of where I'm going to, and also where I've been from. And so if I rewind the clock, perhaps the last couple of years, so in my corporate job, working as a senior software manager in a global corporate company in software engineering and artificial intelligence development, it's been an incredible journey, and I've learned so much and worked with such incredible people. I did find it up until a couple of years ago very, very stressful, and it's a fast-paced, often a high stress and high anxiety environment. And so what I wanted to do was started to shift that balance in my life so that I had perhaps less money at that time and more time with my family, my friends, and being able to pursue my hobbies. And at that time, I'd already been for several years meditating each day, posting songs each day inspired through my meditations, and then also doing meditation sessions and energy healing sessions for people, about a couple of sessions a week. And so just coming up on 2 years ago, I went part-time in my corporate job, and I applied to go to 3 days a week. And that was a big step. It was, dropping from 100% to 60% of my salary. And in advance of that, we'd also been looking at buying a smaller home because we felt like our previous home was very large, and we wanted to go from a 6-bedroom to something that was more suited to a 4-bedroom, which is a family of 4, which is us. And so we did. And we also really wanted to explore more. We have a camper van and a caravan. If you're not in the UK, we call camper vans the kind of vans that you drive around, has an engine, and caravans like a trailer. So you can, it doesn't have an engine, but you can tow it and you can sleep in it, and it's great fun to visit places, especially around Scotland, the UK, and Europe. And so we've been doing that more and more each weekend, and I feel like that's a big part of our lives. And my wife and I would love to do more of this as we continue on our journey. And about 6 months ago, I went on a meditation teacher training, and that was a really powerful journey because I met people who were already doing some sort of traditional or mix of that and complementary experiences for helping others. So they would do, counseling, psychology, people that were doing massage and Reiki, even people that were doing tarot reading. And the meditation course itself was a really beautiful and empowering experience. I felt like I was integrating a lot of the kind of metaphysical gifts, like these psychic abilities that I've been developing through recent years, doing my work largely online and remotely with people. And I was bringing it into this version of me, like talking about myself as a psychic, the psychic medium work I do, as well as the meditation, what I call like quantum energy healing, past life regression, and helping others, like teach others to activate their psychic abilities. And so when I did this meditation teaching, I really felt like I could bring all of that to me. And there was a lot of tears in that process as well. Like I remember crying a lot in the sessions because I was like, I just felt I'd been holding these parts of me back, especially in the physical world around me when I meet people. And so it was a real release to bring those parts of me together. And it also taught me that people make a living out of these types of work, and that why couldn't that be me? Why couldn't I follow that same path? And so I started to think more seriously as I went through like the case study for meditation teaching and the qualification in about October last year. I started following, I mentioned at the start, Jenna Holloway, and as an intuitive business coach, I was watching all her podcasts, which are incredible. Do please check her out. And I started to understand that there's perhaps more to my own consciousness than I was really fully accepting or fully aware of. For example, my subconscious. And this is where there's somewhere in my consciousness there are self-limiting beliefs. Because at that time I felt terrified, like really, really, really scared of leaving my corporate job. And so I was, and I kind of didn't know what to do in the respect, like, how would I start a business? How would I know when to start a business? What would the vision be for it? How would I know whether it was going to be successful? And frankly speaking, how would I go from like earning zero money through that thing into it becoming like the main income for myself and my family? And in some respects, now that I'm on the other side of that decision, I find it a little bit hard to reconnect with that same fear because it doesn't hold fear for me anymore. And that's the whole purpose of this share today. I wanted to just share in the moment this, connecting as close as I can in time to these changes that I've been going through, to see if it helps you as well. And so I started watching Jenna's content, and there's a whole different video, and I even did a live stream with Jenna, and we talked through like the journey I'd been on. We did that earlier this year, and you'll see it on both our pages. But the key thing for me was understanding like once you can see a problem, you can understand how to solve it. And for me, the problem I saw was that I had self-limiting beliefs. I had doubts, woundings, programming that I'd put myself through that forced me to believe at that time that it wasn't possible to go ahead and start, take a leap and start my own business. And so when you start, even if you're not sure exactly, even if you're not sure exactly like where the problem lies in your subconscious, just knowing that there's a problem somewhere there is so helpful. And that's what really, really helped me. I remember waking up one morning and I took my dog out for a walk, out here in Scotland. And, I just remember walking out the driveway and I was thinking, there's a version of me that wakes up today and believes that I can leave my corporate job and start my own business as a spiritual mentor. Like there's actually a version of me that does it really successfully and looks back at this moment with, excitement of that realization of that epiphany. And that somewhere in my mindset, it's the difference between the two, between the Jon that doesn't and the Jon that does, is just a mindset shift. And so that's what I want to dive into a little bit more. And I would say the first thing was that epiphany was like, that was a real mindset shift. And then the next thing was starting to do the work, like starting to try and find where are these limiting beliefs. And I feel in reality, there's for me, there's been a whole string of them. And likely there's still some more work to do, but I feel like I've, started to come over the hump of that challenging. And I feel absolutely on a journey of reprogramming my subconscious to be on my team. Like Jenna always says, being on your subconscious and your consciousness, like every part of you being on the same team is so powerful. Because otherwise they're like fighting against each other all the time. Like your consciousness is saying, I really want my dream life. And then your subconscious is saying, but you can't have it because it's scary and it's impossible and you'll never do it. And so you're like constantly fighting between the two. And I'd like to also share that, I think it was it later January into February, I joined Jenna's membership group, and there she shares subconscious reprogramming, like a hypnosis track each month, and they are so powerful and they're really, really lovely. Like she just has this really incredible calm voice, and you can just put the track on as you go to sleep. And I wouldn't just do this with anyone, right? It's a big thing to have someone talking in those very sensitive parts of your mental states and the phases of your brain states. And so whoever you choose, if you're going to do work, like subconscious work with someone, make sure you really trust them and like feel that with your heart and understand also more about their intention. And I feel like you'll make some good decisions doing that. And so for me, I want to have a chat with my spirit guides about this in a second. And for me, I started to listen to her tracks, and I remember the first time she released a hypnosis track, and I listened to it a couple of times, and I was like, I didn't like, those first couple of times you go to the gym, or maybe even the first couple of times you try meditation. I was like, well, it's kind of cool, but I didn't get that there's like a discipline to it and so I remember stopping for a few days, and then I remember Jenna posting on her membership group and saying, hey everyone, like you really got to engage with this. Like this is, if you're going to go on this journey, like actually engage with it. Like, do it each day. And it's fine if you want to do it at night, just as you fall asleep. So I did. That was a really good wake up call for me, because it helped me see that, like many things in life, everything's a journey, and you want to build those like bodybuilders build those muscles, build those gains. Then do it like each day. Follow your dream, follow that practice each day. And so that really helped. And what I started to feel was this to begin with, a very subtle shift. And I think the shift I would feel, I'd describe it as my subconscious started to shift, was I'd wake up in the morning, and instead of feeling like, oh no, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, I've got a mortgage. I've got like a lot of bills that I pay. Like, how is that going to happen? Instead of feeling like that, I started to feel like there's something new that I'm building. There's like a new way of life. And not only does it pay the bills, it's leading me towards my dream life, my vision of helping, thousands, millions of people around the planet. And that feeling started to take over each morning. And now it's very strong. It was very, very strong every morning, like literally the first feeling I wake up with. And so I'd also just like to mention Jackie Dragone. So I only saw her today for the first time. She's on Jenna's live stream maybe yesterday. And the really interesting thing, just as soon as I don't know if you heard the beep, my little air quality detector just flashed 444 and beeped. And it was quite funny because when I followed Jackie, I was her 2,222nd follower. So yeah, all in divine timing, right? These beautiful and angelic and divine numbers. So yeah, and Jackie was talking about like sales and sales strategy and authenticity, as was Jenna, and it really helped me like connect with my journey and connecting with my authentic journey, my authentic self. And so I'd like to just take a moment, if you've made it this far, well done. And I'd like to thank you for getting this far. I'm going to just tap in and have a chat with my spirit guides just now. And I'd like to ask them about what is the subconscious, like what is the subconscious? What have I been doing with Jenna in this work? And I can share in a bit more detail about the experiences that I go through consciously and also subconsciously. Now, I've never done this before, never spoken with my subconscious before, or my spirit guides and my subconscious before, so this will be fascinating. I have set up a safe space before we do this, and so I'm just going to take a couple of deep breaths and just have a chat with them now. And I'm asking one of my spirit guides to step forwards and to answer this first question. What is Jon's subconscious? And my mantis guide is stepping forwards. And she's saying, she's showing me what looks like a snow globe. And, one of these things you turn upside down and like it looks like snow comes down. And that throughout our day, throughout our lives, all of our thoughts create like these snowflakes. And these snowflakes settle at the bottom of the snow globe. And they form these thoughts, these experiences, they form the subconscious experiences. And there's something about very specific about the energy that creates these kind of thought snowflakes. And they are, sometimes the power is driven by trauma. Sometimes it's driven by success and happiness. And sometimes it's even a little bit of magic, like that kind of unexplainable divine spark, like those encounters that almost like a psychic activation that we experience. So perhaps it's a magic of a rainbow, or maybe you see a ghost, or you have an incredible dream. Like there's this kind of metaphysical aspect to some of these thoughts also. And as they settle onto the ground of our consciousness, the subconsciousness, the subconscious aspect, this layer of us becomes like an operating system in a computer, or like our phone, our laptop, our desktop computer. And it becomes like these thought patterns. They form these operating boundaries, these limits and range of experiences. And in some respects, they limit the experiences that we're capable of receiving, because they create a rainbow. And this rainbow is like a frequency spectrum of everything that you can experience, from the happiest to the darkest aspects of your life. And they also cluster together. They cluster. So as these little snow flakes fall, they cluster into individual aspects and then group. They're grouping together in themes. So perhaps if you've had like a self-limiting belief, like I can't do this, this isn't, possible by me. Those other people that can achieve it are different. Like those feelings would cluster together. And they also hold like a gravitational pull to them. So as these clusters form in your subconsciousness, as the thoughts cluster together, every time like you go near it, in every time your consciousness goes near that area of your subconsciousness, it like pulls that feeling up in you. And so it becomes non-specific. And so that what may have started as a series of a clustering of individual experiences right from the start of and even before your birth in this lifetime, they form like these balls, like these clusters of emotion. And then every time you want to do something in your life, where you're feeling something, experiencing something, or plan to do something consciously, excuse my dry throat, then what happens is you get that feeling in your heart, like in your chest, in your gut, in your mind, when you go near that cluster of self-limiting beliefs. And it's that process of lack of clarity about the individual thoughts that you can see within that cluster that cause this kind of consciousness and subconsciousness separation. And over time, these build and form, and over time, your subconsciousness becomes, in a way, sentient. It becomes a separated part of your own, like a fragmented part of your consciousness. There is also purpose, and there's a natural design to your subconsciousness. And so it is also there to help you drive your car when you're, without constantly fatiguing your mind. So all those instructions of, especially if you're in the UK and you have a gear shift, a gear stick, and you're like constantly changing gears and you're using the pedals, these thought forms and patterns fall and settle on the ground of your subconsciousness, and they become a program that you can then activate when you're driving, and it becomes very natural for you. And this is really how the subconscious operates, is we very seamlessly activate it and engage with it. And those programs is very much the same way. It behaves like that when you're thinking about, living your dreams, or living your dream life, your dream business, or your dream partner, or your dream clients, or whatever it is that you want to do. And just like when you sit in your car and you turn on the ignition, that kind of switching over of your subconsciousness stepping forwards and taking control of the situation also happens when, of every aspect of it. So if you're experiencing self-limiting beliefs, this is the same thing. I'm going to talk a little bit beyond the self-limiting beliefs also. I'm just going to get a coffee 1 second. Thank you. So this feeling of lack that I have suffered in the past, has been connected to my self-worth, and the connection, this deep-rooted connection between a salaried job, whether it's been a small company or a corporate company, that monetary value that I see every month that I receive is this constant programming, this reminder, this building of this writing of this program that states that I am worth this amount of money each month. And not just that amount, but also that the harder I work, the more successful I am, the more opportunity there is to grow that amount of money. And the less successful I am, and the weaker I am, the smaller that money would become. And also that the person that pays me that money decides how much I'm worth. And this tightly coupled self-love and feeling of success together with a salary is a very risky and can be very destructive pattern to fall into. And many of us fall into, as I have in the past, falling into traps of, associating my self-worth with a job title or a job level or money. And actually, none of those are true. That really every aspect of us is available and open to receive our self-love. So I'm just going to ask my guide another question. I'm going to ask, when I've been doing this work with Jenna Holloway as an intuitive business coach, and she's been doing hypnosis tracks, so I've been listening to those each night. I'd like to understand, what effect is Jenna's work having on my subconscious and on my consciousness? So just asking my spirit guide, my mantis guide, to answer this, please. And they're showing me in the first meditation, hypnosis track that she recorded, we go into quite quickly, and as it starts, we go into this room where amazing things happen, where really I'm creating like my future dream life. And in there, my guide is showing me like clearing out all the junk. And this is a job I have to do physically here in my garage at home, is like clear out everything that just no longer serves you, like all the thought patterns and like we were saying earlier, this snow globe and all these little snow flakes that are falling into the ground. Like there's a reason that Jenna took me there, and it's to go there and start clearing this stuff out. Like there is the opportunity for everyone to clear their subconscious of everything that doesn't serve your highest good. So clearing out all that junk. Okay, fantastic. And then there's this like healing aspect. So when you clear out your room, your cupboard, your closet, your garage or garage, when you clear it out, there's this feeling you get of like, you love the space again. You love the opportunity, the emptiness. You celebrate in that moment. And that's also a really important part of the healing of our subconscious, is seeing how powerful our subconscious is. If our subconscious can drive a car for us as we're able to navigate through our lives, and allow us to go into autopilot and to think about, free up our mind, our conscious mind, to think through all the powerful things that we want to in that moment, then it's a really beautiful experience to be able to allow the cleaning and cleansing of your subconsciousness, so that you can really step into these, bring in these like higher vibration, more authentic, more embodied thought patterns into your subconscious, and fill the bottom of your snow globe with, it's showing me like sparkles, like have it all sparkling. So have it like diamonds. Okay. And then to continue to answer the question, my guide is showing me the second hypnosis track that Jenna provided and created. And this one is more about starting to fill your subconscious with the things you really want. And she's teaching my subconscious and my consciousness like this practice of being able to program, like teaching you how to reprogram yourself. And I must admit, I have not listened all the way through consciously to Jenna's hypnosis tracks. I've only listened to it subconsciously. And she says early on in the track, she says, I'm talking to your subconscious. And to allow your conscious mind to go to sleep, for example. And only do I have a vague recollection of, and this may or may not be true, because this is just my experiences of, these are true experiences of what I've experienced, but I don't know if this is what Jenna actually says in the second hypnosis track. But I believe there's like, she takes you to this shop where you have like all the things that you want in your dream life. And there you can you can see them, visualize them, pick them up, like you can purchase them and take them away with you. And she's teaching this process, and it's like I'm a little child again, like I'm seeing myself in this moment as like this little inner child, little John, maybe age about 6 or 7. So tall enough still to be able to pick up like a heavy jar, and I see this jar on the shelf, and I'm picking it up and I'm putting it down in front of me, and it contains like so much of my dream life. And then I'm holding it, and then I'm taking it out the shop and I'm taking it away with me, and I'm learning how to integrate it into my heart and into my subconsciousness. And it's like I open it up and I consume that dream life of mine. And it's a beautiful feeling, and there's a lot of excitement, and it feels very powerful being that child version of me, because it's rewinding the clock in my timeline to when and before a lot of these subconscious kind of anti-patterns were forming in my mind, and I'm being able to rewrite those with new things, so that big emptied garage is now being like properly sorted with all the things that I do want to store in there. For example, in my garage, I have like an area for items that I take in and out of our caravan or camper van when we go camping. And it's so handy. I feel so blessed to have it right next to our vehicles, so that when you can literally just open the garage door, stare at it, and think, maybe I'm going off grid for a couple of days, so I'm going to need like some extra of these things. Or maybe it's like power, or like another power bank, or my solar panels. Or if I'm going to a place that's going to be really sunny, I'll bring extra chairs so we can sit out. And it's ease, as Jenna says, like this ease and flow. Okay, my spirit guide's just asking me to come back again and come back to some questions about the subconsciousness. Yeah, I want to ask. So they're asking me to ask the question, which is quite funny, because my guide doesn't know exactly how to form the question, so I'm going to form it. My question is, how is my subconscious now changed? Like, how is it on the other side, or part way through this like subconscious reprogramming? What is the effect that it's had on me? And I'd love to learn some of the specifics, if that's okay. And so my guide is saying that my consciousness and subconsciousness are much more like this. They're much more intertwined, and they're aware of each other. Like they are symbiotic, that they work together. And this is the part that is being described earlier. It's like being in the same team together. And so there's this, this is really cute. Just like, as I sit in the car and I'm about to press the ignition key well, it's a button on my car. Excuse me. As I press the ignition to start the engine of the car, my subconscious like activates, like literally as I press that button, like it is a trigger moment for me to activate my subconsciousness and allow it to begin to start driving, and taking over some of those cycles, the effort, the energy that my conscious part of my brain would normally drive. And this is happening together now. So when your consciousness and your subconscious become part of the same team, like it's not just that they're two separate aspects of you or parts of your consciousness aligned. It's not just that, which is what I thought until this moment. My guide is showing me that they become intertwined, and what happens is your consciousness can teach your subconscious, and do it intentionally. So, for example, what's been happening as I've been listening to Jenna's hypnosis tracks is that my consciousness has been saying, "Hey, subconscious, wouldn't it be amazing that when you wake up in the morning, that when we wake up together, to really give Jon that focus on the excitement, that feeling. It's all about the feeling. It's all about the feeling of his future dream life. And that today is like every day is an opportunity to bring in more of that feeling. And that this day will be filled with opportunities, whether they're rest, whether they're play, business or creativity, whatever it is, and bringing in that fun and excitement. And that this is my consciousness really promoting this task, this like subconscious task to take over. So it's like a little mini sub-program, a sub-routine, where my subconscious is like, okay, I get it. Like, it's morning. Morning means remember that feeling. Remember that feeling. How does it feel? What are the exciting things we're going to do today? Are you aware of the things you're going to do? And if there's gaps in the excitement of today, there's opportunities to receive more things. And so it's like play around and find out, insert swear words. And that is a really powerful, beautiful subconscious routine. And then I also want to ask, but what about the fear and anxiety and lack in particular that I was so deeply wounded and scared about? Like, what happened with that program? What happened with that subconscious programming? I'm just being shown that with Jenna's work that I see this image of me standing in my garage and the door's right open. And there's this like kind of dark, kind of ugly, horrible, like really low vibration emotion. There's this cluster of lack emotions, and it's been breeding in there for some time in the corner. And I'm picking it up, and I'm kicking it. I'm literally just kicking it out of the garage. I'm like, you gotta go! Like you're out of here. And I may also be like, I think there's also like. Starting a bonfire, like a campfire out in my driveway and burning away all those emotions. Like they just no longer serve me. Like I let them go. I just do not need these feelings of lack. They do not serve me anymore. And then I'm drawn to like, okay, well, what's the healing in this? It's not always fair to just, throw away our negative emotions. So how did this healing happen? Just asking my guide. Okay, so I'd done the healing already with my lack, and this includes some past life work that I've done. Well, a lot of past life work, and then I'd kept it there in my garage of my house of my consciousness, my subconsciousness, because part of me still believed that it was true that I would end up in a lack scenario, and that it's just a feeling, right? Like that that feeling, and that it no longer serves my highest good. And really the only healing to do was to like see it, and that's why it was helpful for me to describe this kind of big ball of like lack, pick it up and throw it away. And then once that's been burned away, I'm looking back at the area of the garage in my home where this big lump of lack energy in my subconsciousness was. And there's it almost has like this kind of darkened burn mark around the wall and around the corner. And I'm just bringing in some love into this space. It's like I'm singing as I'm doing it. I'm like singing this little song, happily cleaning it. Like I'm cleaning the lack away. I'm like just wiping it all away, and I'm filling it with like this love, the frequency of this song and the self-love and the playfulness as well. And so that new feelings or sub-programming that I want to put in place could be put back in that corner, that part of the garage. That corner of the garage is right next to the door, which is really interesting. And also physically, so it's just behind me here on the other side of my studio wall. And physically, there's a really big spider who I call Bertha, who I think the spider's still alive, and I don't know how long spiders live, but it's been there for the longest time. And you see no other spiders, just this one spider, and I suspect it eats the others. So there's like, and what's funny is I used to be really scared of spiders, and now I'm actually quite fond of my spider Bertha that I leave in the corner there, and I always like make her space, like give her space, and I'm sure she gets plenty to eat. She's right next to the door, get plenty of flies and things like that to eat. And although I have like I wouldn't be confident to be able to pick her up, I have a lot of respect. And I feel that is very symbolic. You know, where there was lack, there's now this, physically, there's this blend of a spider in that corner of my garage physically that I have a little bit of anxiety about picking up, but I have a lot of respect and still love as well. Like I really love having a big spider that lives there and eats all the other little spiders. Okay. And so my guide is just saying, John, this is the journey of being able to even take something as powerful as lack on the negative, just like I had fear of my big spider, to like over time turning that to love. Like I will look back at these feelings of lack and feel more love each time that I reconnect with those what felt like very negative feelings, and it has this effect of raising the vibration out of lack. Okay. And I think I still have one more question for my guide. Oh, okay. This is exciting. So I'm hearing that I'm part of the way through my journey. And so my question for my guide is what, in my subconscious work, unconscious work, what is ahead of me? So at the moment, it's true that my consciousness and subconsciousness are working together, that they're much more intertwined. What's happening is I'm learning more and more consciously. So as we're talking about like the snow globe and having, or computer operating system, having subconscious down here, that my consciousness, the part of it that's able to communicate directly with my subconsciousness and instruct it to do things for me, or for us, is still maturing. And what will happen over time is that I can start to far more consciously instruct my subconscious, and that's what this is about. Leaving space within my my garage, within my home. It's so funny. I don't know why it's my garage, but leaving space within my home, within the home of my consciousness in my brain, leaving that space and in my subconsciousness so that new programs can be created like real time on the fly. And I'm seeing myself, I'm just asking like, what like actual examples can I use this for? And my guide is saying it is like a mix of like meditation and like a conscious meditation where I can set aside space. And it's like I'm doing this thing. I see myself in the future doing this thing. I don't know all the words yet, but I'm hearing like these words where I'm saying to myself, subconscious, please open up some space for me to receive a new program. And like, I'm getting ready to download that program into my subconsciousness. And I'm doing this thing. I see myself in a forest, in some woods, and it might be the ones nearby where I live. And I'm opening up my heart and my mind to receive. And I'm saying out loud, I'm saying, bring in this, like this divine, like this magical inspiration, download this information into my consciousness, so become aware of it first, and then quite quickly download it into my subconsciousness, and to receive it, to become a pattern. And it has this incredible effect to like rewrite like the kind of the DNA, the fingerprint, the blueprint, the schema, the structure, the design of my humanness, my human programming, my mental constructs. And I'm seeing myself bringing it in from like higher dimensions, like my higher self into my consciousness, into my subconsciousness, and then allowing very quickly that subconscious program to take effect. So this is like a behavior, a pattern, like a ceremony, like a ritual that I do. But I'm really curious, like what are the examples that I can use this for? Okay, so before I go into this little ritual, I set the intention. So when I set the intention to open up and receive like divine inspiration or download like the next thing my subconscious should focus on, I set the intention. And it's like I'm, for example, tasking myself. So I'm saying like a theme in Jenna's membership group for a couple of us has been like pricing of our services. And so this one is like subconscious, work out the right price for the right monetary value for every service that I offer at every right given moment. And so I just bring that in just now. And I'm just going to try this just now. Just asking that question, my subconscious, to receive the program for optimizing the right price for all of my services at any given moment. And just bringing that down through my crown chakra, into my mind, into my third eye, into my brain, into my subconscious. And then coming down my third eye and into my throat chakra and then into my heart, and then grounding through solar plexus, sacral chakra, root chakra, and into the ground, into the core of the planet. And it's allowing that program to take effect, to form in my subconscious. So every time that I am needing to devote some subconscious energy to optimizing my prices, I will always find the right price at the right time, at the right vibration, as Jenna would say, to bring in my perfect matching clients, and I become the perfect match for them. And just allow those numbers. And I see these numbers like they're going up, they're sometimes going down, they're usually going up. But there's magic in the numbers. There's magic in the numbers themselves. Like, pay attention. People feel your intention in these numbers. The numbers are important. You know, the eights, the 88s, the 144s, the 188s, 244, 444, 666 888 1444 and so on. And I'm just being shown like one of my highest numbers I'm seeing is 8888, and that I'm not allowing myself yet to see what that service is, but it's my very high ticket, a really beautiful service, and I really honor that. Thank you for showing me that. That's really powerful. And I have to ask what that is. They've given me like this little carrot that's like, hey, John, you should like think about this extremely high value but high worth service to others. So this has been incredible, and it's been really super fun, both recording on live stream on Instagram, and yeah, a big shout out to Jackie and Jenna, and to everyone in Jenna's membership group, and everyone that's been such an incredible support on my journey. There's so many of you that have seen my plight, have seen my journey, seen my fear and my vulnerability and my terror of like making these big bold changes, and yet now I feel this excitement and that it's all possible. Like I can do this, and I hope that this journey, this share, helps you, find the people in your life that are the perfect match for helping develop you, your perfect mentor, your perfect coach. Of course, it can be me. You can check me out on jonbinnie.com. Link is in my profile. It could be Jenna. It could be anyone that resonates with your heart, or Jackie. And so, yeah, I'd really encourage you to just feel into that and feel into what resonates with you at that time in your life. And like me, sometimes my spiritual ego makes me think I understand so much about the metaphysical realms, and yet almost all of what I've learned today about the subconscious, I've really done no study of it. I've only really just listened to what Jenna's said in those, in her work, and I've never worked really one-on-one with Jenna, other than a live stream, and I think that's also really powerful and really interesting that, as coaches and mentors and guides and teachers for others, that know that you can have a profound effect on someone's life, even just with relative light touch, and I think it's a really powerful message for me as well, because I want to help millions and billions of people, and I know I can't do them all one-to-one. So if I'm going to have a profound effect on people, to help them on their journeys, to help this whole planet, it needs to be in a repeatable, scalable way. And to know that as a receiver of this, of something that's very scalable for Jenna, I hope that it inspires me and inspires others to do the same. Don't just limit yourself to dealing with every human one-to-one. Like you can do a lot more if that's what you choose. So I'd like to bring this session to an end. Thank you, my guides, higher self, our archangels that I invited in, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Mother Gaia, every soul that's participated in today's session. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm just closing this session down. And we will leave that as it is today. I hope this finds you well. Take care, and I'm sending my love from Scotland. Thank you. Love you.